The Houston Police Department is under intense scrutiny after a shocking video surfaced showing Officer Ashley Gonzalez using racist slurs. With local leaders like Edward Pollard demanding action and the Afro-American Police Officers League calling for her badge, this investigation is moving fast. We have the latest on the pressure mounting against the department to ensure real accountability.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Lee Remini is sounding the alarm on a dangerous new trend where TikTok creators are storming into Scientology buildings for clout. The actress and activist warns that these reckless stunts are not just unsafe, but they actually play right into the hands of the church by letting them paint themselves as victims. She is urging everyone to stop chasing viral moments and start taking the real issues seriously. Big changes are coming to Hollywood as Warner Bros. Shareholders have officially approved the massive $81 billion takeover of Paramount. This mega merger is poised to completely reshape the landscape of the media industry forever. We are tracking what this deal means for the future of your favorite content and how the business of entertainment is shifting right before our eyes. A brutal assault in East Harlem has sparked a national conversation about the dangers of a generation glued to screens and exposed to toxic online content. After a 14-year-old boy stomped on a girl for rejecting his phone number while peers stood by to record it, columnist Bethany Mandel is calling out a total failure of adult supervision. If you want to stay ahead of the biggest stories every single day, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Ever wonder what happens when the badge you trust to protect you is worn by someone harboring deep-seated hate? We're talking about a major firestorm in Houston right now, where a viral video has turned the police department upside down. An officer named Ashley Gonzalez is currently under the microscope and suspended with pay after a video surfaced on Instagram showing her launching into an absolutely vile, racist rant. It's hard to even repeat the language, but she was caught on camera using derogatory slurs and dehumanizing terms like chimps when referring to Black people. Let's be real, this isn't just bad behavior. This is a massive betrayal of the uniform. The backlash has been swift and unforgiving. Houston City Council member Edward Pollard didn't mince words, calling for her immediate termination, noting that this kind of toxicity completely shatters the already fragile trust between law enforcement and the community. Even the police union, represented by Douglas Griffith, had to publicly distance themselves, stating they are extremely disturbed by the footage. But the strongest reaction came from the Afro-American Police Officers League. Their president, Cheryl Wood, isn't just asking for a suspension. They want Gonzalez's law enforcement license revoked permanently. They're arguing that if you can spew that kind of hatred, you have no place holding a badge ever again. This situation forces us to ask a difficult question. How many others in positions of power are hiding behind closed doors? And how do we ensure the people meant to serve us actually see us as human? I want to hear your take. Should a video like this be an automatic firing, or is the process moving too slow? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on this story. At the end of the day, a uniform doesn't hide who you are. It only magnifies the impact of your character. Ever wondered if chasing viral fame is actually doing more harm than good? A dangerous new trend is sweeping across TikTok, where creators are storming Scientology buildings, treating these facilities like video game levels to see how far they can get before security drags them out. But there's one person who has been in the trenches fighting this organization for years who wants this to stop immediately: Lee Remini. In a scathing, must-watch post, the former Scientologist turned whistleblower slammed these creators, arguing that while they might think they're exposing the truth, they are actually handing the Church of Scientology the perfect PR gift. Remini pointed out that when you create chaos and treat serious allegations like a game for clicks, you're not exposing abuse, you're just becoming a nuisance. By acting out, these TikTokers are allowing the church to pivot the narrative and play the victim, effectively shielding the organization from actual, meaningful scrutiny. Remini, whose work on Scientology and the aftermath was instrumental in bringing these issues to the mainstream, understands the gravity of the situation better than anyone. She's not trying to silence critics, she's trying to protect the cause. She noted that while she once appreciated younger generations using social media to warn others about the dangers of the organization, this current, clout-chasing, trend is a massive step backward. It trivializes a lifetime of work, turns tragedy into content, and ultimately loses the moral high ground. We need to ask ourselves, are we actually fighting for change or just farming for engagement? If you value integrity in activism, hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Because at the end of the day, when you trade strategy for spectacle, you aren't changing the system, you're just feeding it. Imagine two of the biggest pillars of Hollywood history suddenly becoming one. It sounds like a movie script, but it is actually reality. Warner Bros. And Paramount shareholders have just officially stamped their approval on a massive $81 billion merger, a move that is set to completely rewrite the rulebook for the entertainment industry. This isn't just about movies. We are talking about a seismic shift in how content is produced and distributed globally. By joining forces, these two titans are betting big that scale is the only way to survive in an era dominated by streaming giants and rapidly changing consumer habits. It is a bold, risky, and undeniably massive gamble. If you are as fascinated by the future of media as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on how this colossal deal unfolds. We are witnessing history in the making, but the real question remains. Will this mega merger actually lead to better storytelling, or are we just watching the corporate consolidation of our favorite memories? We've all heard the phrase, "kids these days," usually muttered by an older generation looking back with rose-colored glasses. But what happened in East Harlem this week isn't just another case of kids being kids. It's a wake-up call that we can no longer afford to ignore. A 14-year-old boy attacked a 15-year-old girl in broad daylight because she refused to give him her number. He slammed her to the ground and stomped on her head, leaving her with a concussion. But here is the truly chilling part. Other kids were standing right there. They weren't calling for help. They were pulling out their phones to record it. Why? Because in a culture obsessed with virality, a front-row seat to violence is more valuable than a human life. We have to talk about the elephant in the room: pornography. We've allowed a generation of young boys to consume content that replaces healthy intimacy with a diet of domination, humiliation, and control. When that becomes the baseline, rejection isn't seen as a boundary. It's seen as a challenge. And let's be clear, this didn't happen in a vacuum. Parents are handing over smartphones to children barely out of elementary school and effectively letting the algorithms do the parenting. We are abdicating our roles as mentors and guides, leaving our youth to be shaped by the most dehumanizing content the internet has to offer. The kids who filmed that attack weren't being evil. They were being mirrors of a culture that prizes attention over action. It is a moral failure, but it is not a failure of the kids. It is a failure of the adults who stood by and let the screens become their children's primary teachers. We have to stop blaming the youth and start looking at the vacuum of influence we've created. If we don't step up to provide a better framework for relationships and respect, we're setting the stage for even darker days ahead. Do you think we've lost the battle for our kids' attention to the screen? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the stories that actually matter. At the end of the day, a generation is only as strong as the values we choose to model for them.